Hey, what is going on everyone? Welcome back to another Clash Royale video. How are you guys doing today? Hope you all are doing fine. Today folks, we're going to be taking our first look at the Magic Archer Draft Challenge, and let me just say this up front, I have a lot of stuff to cover with this challenge. I recorded so many things, it'll probably take me 2 uploads, or maybe 3 at most, to cover everything. However, even though it's a lot to watch, you will find that you're going to enjoy most of the gameplay here because a lot of interesting stuff happened and I'm just really excited to bring it to you all. And for this first match here, we have got just such a whack deck. Let me just say this up front. This is not just a double giant deck. In fact, it is a triple giant deck here. My opponent gave me the giant skeleton here, as you can see on the screen right now. So we have got the giant, we've got the royal giant, and we have got the giant skeleton. Dear god, I never thought I would play a deck like this ever, so that's why I threw him the Maddie mode there, because I was really ticked off. Like, how am I supposed to play this? Seriously. I have to use a defensive expo, however, I take this time to try to set it up on offense there. So it's kind of working out alright, and we're getting some chip damage done there. Our opponent decides to drop a wizard on the left for some reason. I'm not sure why he does that, but I'm gonna take it. We send a lumberjack down on that left lane there, and he's gonna get straight to that tower, dealing a lot of damage, and our royal giant on the other side in the meantime does take the tower by himself. That doesn't really happen much. In fact, people usually always address the royal giant. However, my opponent overcommitted with a lava hound at the bridge for some reason there, so I'll just take that there. So he loses his tower pretty early there. I'm gonna drop the giant skeleton now and see what happens next. He's got that princess there. I'm not too worried about it. In fact, I'm gonna drop a magic archer here on the side just so we can snipe it. At the time though, I was fairly new to using the card. This was one of my first fights. What I should have done though was drop the magic archer right at the bridge, and he'd have shot the princess and the crown tower at the same time. But whatever, that's in the past anyways. But what matters now is that I actually know how to use this card much better than I did when I first picked it up. So right now, as you can see, my opponent is hovering that wizard there, and little did I know he actually left the match at that point in time. So he basically gave up. I'm not sure why. I mean, he has expensive tanks too, but I mean, he has like the wizard and stuff, which would kind of tear through a lot of my stuff there. And if he had just played like a golem, I'm pretty sure he could have broken past my defenses there, because I don't really have much to defend. At most, I have the expo to pull either of his troops there, and I've got 3 giants to do basically nothing. So yeah, I really don't know why he quit, but that's in the past there. He accepted his loss. I'm just glad I got a free win there basically. Anyways guys, before we move on, I would like to make mention of something pretty awesome. Recently, I became partnered with Spartan Elite Energy, which is a brand new drink out there on the market. You guys can check it out. I've got a link to their website in the description down below. And if you guys are interested in buying this product, you can use my code right there to get a discount. So do check it out when you have the chance. Anyways, let's move back on to today's video. We're moving on to our second fight now. So we're going to be taking on Khaleesi right now, which should translate to Mother of Dragons if I'm remembering my Game of Thrones correctly. I haven't watched that series in ages. I stopped like at season 4. I really need to pick it back up, but probably after my exams. Anyways, just take a look at this deck right now that I've got. It seems to me like a sort of control deck. I mean, I've got a lot of cycle cards. I've got the skeletons, zap. We've got the magic archer. We've also got Tesla for defense and the rocket for our high damage spell. Now take a look at what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to keep defending with this magic archer, and I wanted to keep him alive because as long as he's alive, he'll still be able to present a significant threat against my opponent right now. So right now I'm debating whether or not to use a giant. Of course, this time I was not sure what my opponent had in hand, so I decided to let that one magic archer go. We're starting off a giant in the back. Now, all this time now, my opponent is going to be reacting with an Inferno Tower, and look at what I've got for that. I have got a lovely rocket in hand, so I'm just gonna rocket that down immediately. So that Inferno Tower is gonna fall. He does have a Valkyrie. If I had just adjusted my placement, I probably could have clipped a Valkyrie there, and she would have been history as well. My opponent arrows down the princess. I don't think he clipped the tower, so at least he didn't get any chip damage. However, my opponent is coming at me with a strong Valkyrie and Goblins combo here. One of the Goblins was lagging behind the Valkyrie, so I decided to use the Skeletons to bring everything together for my Magic Archer to be able to take care of things there, and that worked out pretty well in our favor. So I'm just going to send a Miner now to chip away at that tower there. If my opponent had just dropped that Dot Goblin a little more off to the side, maybe like closer to the front of the tower, we could have chipped away at it. Unfortunately, my opponent was pretty smart in this instance, so yeah, we didn't get that to work out. Tesla though, the Tesla is doing a great job on defense there. I usually hate fighting the Tesla, but man, it's fun to use, I guess, because you can't do anything about it while it's underground. So even the great Dot Goblin there, he can't touch it while it's underground, so that's great news for us. Now my opponent drops a Golem. Now I'm looking at my hand right now and I'm just so confused. How am I supposed to take down a Golem with all of these cheap units? I mean, I have some good cards overall, but I need to rely on that Tesla, so I have to cycle back to one. However, he distracts me with all of these other cards in the meantime there, so I did not play that defense so well. The Golem does get to my tower and does some damage. He freezes as well. The Dot Goblin does connect, and look at this, I'm suffering a lot of damage. This time I had to use a defensive miner. Usually I hate resorting to defensive miners, but I mean, if the situation calls for it, you gotta do it, right guys? So my opponent is gonna be dropping an Inferno Tower. I tried to drop some Skeletons there to tank for it. However, he dropped some Goblins there or something like that, and they lagged behind, so the Giant just got burnt to a crisp and I couldn't do anything there. So I'm just gonna cycle back to another Giant and see what we can do. We're gonna place that Giant off to the side so that he keeps the Valkyrie off of our Magic Archer. Now our opponent is gonna Inferno Tower there. But wait, what? That Magic Archer has been sniping that Crown Tower quite a bit there, so we took down a lot of the HP there. So right now I'm just focusing on keeping my Magic Archer alive. I don't know why I sent the Miner in there to do some chip damage. I'm not really sure why I did that there, but I finished things off with a rocket there, just to make sure that tower goes down and that my opponent couldn't do anything about it. And now we're going to be moving on to match number 3. We've got Ice Wizard or Magic Archer. I'm taking Magic Archer. Then we're taking Fireball there, just to make sure he can't counter it. We're going to take the Mirror there, just to add an element of fun. I don't really know why, I just took it. And Fire Spirits or Skeleton Army. I'm thinking I'm going to go with the Fire Spirits there, just because they have more versatility. I mean, the Skeleton Army can do a number on ground units. However, the Magic Archer will be able to pierce through a lot of them at a time. So yeah, Skeleton Army, not the best choice to go against a Magic Archer unless you can surround him. If you're defending and your opponent drops a Magic Archer from the distance, of course, you're going to lose a lot of skeletons really fast. Now, take a look at this right now. We have nothing to really play. I mean, I could use the Fireball there, but I'm not really sure if it's worth it. My opponent has arrows and zap, so he has an answer to most of my cards. A beautiful Fireball there. I was really proud of that Fireball, being able to clip both the tower, the archer, and the Ice Wizard there. So we're just left with that one archer on the opposite lane. I'm gonna drop a Magic Archer to try and snipe away that archer there and take no damage. I mean, I didn't need to go that try hard. I just felt like doing it anyway. So I dropped these Fire Spirits here to try to block him from doing any sort of surround with goblins. He drops a Giant instead. We still get some damage done there, and now this is where some trouble starts for us here, folks. We've got the Dart Goblin, we've got the Ice Wizard there locking onto our tower. I Fireball and Ice Spirit the Ice Wizard there along with the Dart Goblin. My opponent zapped though, and he hit the Crown Tower and the King Tower there, I think, at the same time. So the King woke up, and I'm feeling pretty good about that because he basically helped set me up for good defense overall. I'm gonna get ready to set up another Lava Hound and make another push. We need to get some damage done there because he has arrows, and that will take care of our lava pops every time the Lava Hound spawns. So I need to at least get the Hound to the tower more often than not. Now, before I forget to ask, I would like to know, what do you guys think about the Magic Archer? Do you guys think he's OP? Do you think he's underwhelming? Or is he balanced? For me, I think he's really balanced right now as is. I mean, if he gets a buff, that would be really awesome. However, I just really love this card as he is right now, because he seems to be one of those high skill cap cards, and just like when the Miner was first released and not too many people were crazy about him all at once because they didn't see how useful he could be, I think the Magic Archer is just like that. He is a very high skill cap card, and I think if you know how to use him very correctly, you can get a lot of value out of him. Now, like I was saying earlier, if you have Magic Archers down from the distance there, you can vaporize skeleton armies, and that is exactly what was going on here. We take care of 2 of his archers there, and we cycle back to another mirror there to get another Magic Archer going. They vaporize the goblins there. They're taking care of the Dart Goblin now, and my opponent is just running out of elixir right now. We've got this Ice Spirit going there. He's gonna arrow down everything. I'm gonna drop a Hound just to screw with him a little bit there, and the Magic Archer does get a few shots on the tower. The Hound goes to the opposite lane. Not my intention really, but whatever. We still have this game in the bag. All we need to do is just prevent the Giant from locking. My opponent didn't have enough time, and as a result, we were able to come out with a win. Now folks, I'm going to be taking the Balloon in this next match here. Usually I would take the Miner, however, I wasn't sure what air counters I would get. So yeah, I'm taking cards that might be really questionable at times, but I wanted to make sure that it would be hard for him to deal with there, because even though I gave him cards such as the Skeletons and the Zap spell, which would both shut down my Sparky in most cases there, it does not mean that he will win the match, because folks, it is easy to make a mistake, and where cards like Sparky and the Balloon are concerned, it is very easy for things to get out of hand if your opponent doesn't have any other counters and they waste their counters. So if my opponent was to make a mistake using a Zap, obviously I will punish him for it. So starting off this match here, we have got the Giant making his way up from the back there, and we're gonna just use an Ice Spirit just to make sure we don't take any unnecessary damage on that other lane. We've got this Balloon now, so I'm gonna be dropping that there to push on the right side lane here with my Giant. Now the Magic Archer is going to be sniping the Balloon there, so we only get 1 shot in there, so I was feeling pretty good about that there. We arrow down his Princess, clip the tower and bowler as well as the Magic Archer, but now this is where things are going to go pretty haywire for me right now. We've got the Sparky here to try to clean up on defense here, but my opponent, the Zap, it does shut down Sparky there, so she does not get to do exactly what I wanted her to do. However, I am not going to be one to throw in the towel so early in the game, so we're going to drop this Ice Spirit here, and we managed to kill everything there. So the Sparky does get a bit of value, even though we didn't get to defend properly. So I'm going to start off a counter push there with the Giant, and he's back up to another Magic Archer. Thankfully, the Sparky does lock onto the Magic Archer before that Miner pops up, so we get rid of that there. Otherwise, it would have been pretty annoying to deal with overall, and now we have to figure out a way to get some damage done there on the tower. So I'm just going to defend cheaply with an Ice Wizard here. Meanwhile, my opponent's archers are going to get close to the tower there, but the Ice Wizard does manage to stop them in their tracks. So yeah, we're good overall, and now I'm thinking I should be pushing on the opposite lane. What I should have done though was drop the Balloon a little bit behind and then drop the Ice Golem in front, so that the Ice Golem would tank the tower at least, and we could have gotten some extra damage done. But whatever, we still bring down the tower to 62 HP, which is more than enough for me, so it means that I get to keep that 2 elixir there to do some other stuff. So we've got the Sparky dealing with so many things right now. She's dealing with the bowler archers there and the Magic Archers, so I'm going to be dropping this Ice Wizard to defend the opposite lane. I don't really know why I invested in the Giant though. That was kind of a questionable play if I do say so myself. However, it's time to make up for our mistakes. We're going to use that Ice Spirit there to stop the Dark Prince in its tracks. We're using the Ice Golem to kite the Dark Prince away, and look at that. My opponent wasted his Zap. What did I tell you folks? If my opponent makes a mistake, I will capitalize on it, and we're going to punish him very hard for it. So he's going to be frantic right now to defend. The Sparky though, she does get distracted by the Dark Prince. The Dark Prince does a great job at stopping her. So I'm going to be cycling back to another Sparky. Again, he wastes his Zap. Quite unfortunate for him. Very good for us though. And folks, if you take a close look at that left side tower, we have actually done quite a number on it, so we're doing pretty good overall. We've got like 3 minutes basically to kill here, and we just need that 1 tower. I'm gonna drop a Balloon there. It's really not nice to know that he had the Magic Archer up already, but I was hoping to get some death damage at least. He zaps the Balloon just to make sure it does not connect, so it is time to spark it up once more. We drop another Sparky there on our side, and the Magic Archer is still kicking. Thankfully, he gives us some arrow value. We get rid of that there, and it's time to shove a Giant in his face. So the Giant is gonna make his way to the tower there. I dropped the good game. He's busy dealing with Sparky there. The Giant does manage to connect to the tower there, He takes a swing at it and brings the tower down, so that is it for that match there. We're moving on to our next match now, so I'm going to be picking the Goblin Barrel, the Magic Archer, the Tesla over the Lava Hound. Folks, I'm not really a big fan of the Hound at all, as you would know by now, and then we're going to take a good old favorite of mine, the Lumberjack, instead of the heal spell. I mean, I was kind of worried giving him the heal spell when he had the Hound because he could heal it, but I was kind of also scared of giving him a Lumberjack as well in the middle of that there, so yeah, I prefer to take the Lumberjack and be safe. So he's gonna drop a Hound here. Now that's pretty aggressive there. I don't really think it was advisable to start off a Hound that early in the game, but whatever, I'm gonna take it there. So we're gonna use these skeletons right now to try to line up everything there. We do manage to kill the archers, and I didn't want the ice wizard to be killing my magic archer, so I had to use the giant skeleton there. Thankfully I did it at a good time because he invested a lot of elixir before, so he could not kite the giant skeleton. So it got to the tower there and is dealing quite a lot of damage. Meanwhile, we barely took any damage. You see folks, this is why I don't really like the Lava Hound. It just sits there and does almost nothing. I mean, it's a great tank and all, it works really well with the balloon as well as the miner, but by itself, it doesn't really do that much. So yeah folks. The Lava Hound is really not something that I'm going to be showcasing on my channel very often, so if I do ever show a deck on it, that is going to be a very rare instance. So anyways, moving back onto the match at hand here, my opponent is starting off with an aggressive Lava Hound yet again. Does this guy not learn? The Lava Hound cannot be played at the bridge to really be doing much damage. I don't know why I cycled that Lumberjack in the back there. I really don't know what was going through my mind. Probably fretting about the possibility of a miner coming up somewhere. I don't know. It's like I was having Vietnam flashbacks or something like that for Clash Royale battles. Because when they do drop a miner with a Lava Hound, that can be deadly folks. So yeah. Anyways folks, let's get back to the match at hand right now. So we've got this giant skeleton going down on the right lane, and my opponent has no ground units to counter it. And this means that the giant skeleton is going to be quite a threat to him right now. He delays dropping that baby dragon. Honestly, I would have dropped a graveyard instead there. I mean, it wouldn't be the best of plays, but it'd still keep the giant skeleton off of his tower. But that's his decision there. Take a look at what happens now. I drop a Tesla, he drops an ice wizard there, and he's gonna drop archers. And look at this, rocket value folks. We clip everything there. Only the pups make it out alive because they spawn after the hound dies. So yeah, we're pretty good there. And he drops his graveyard right now, so I'm going to use the Lumberjack there, and the Magic Archer is also going to be helping out on defense there. So we're sitting pretty good right now. We've got less than 30 seconds left to go, and my opponent has yet to kill any of my crown towers right now. So we can just sit back right now, relax basically, and just keep bridge spamming him basically. It doesn't really matter because his win conditions will not be very effective against this deck that I have right now. So we actually end that off there with a nice 3 crown. So moving on to our second to last match now folks, Ice Wizard or Magic Archer. Again folks, I'm gonna go with the Magic Archer. This time I opt to take the poison, and now we've got Goblin Barrel or Flying Machine. I figured the Flying Machine might be nice to have, even though my opponent has the Fireball. We also take the Dart Goblin as well. The Magic Archer is like a better Dart Goblin, however his attacks actually can miss, so Dart Goblin could still be more reliable for those of you out there who don't have the Magic Archer yet like myself. But the Magic Archer is still a pretty awesome card, you gotta admit that guys, alright? So we're gonna be starting off this match right now, and my opponent decides to drop a balloon. So he has Fireball to counter almost all of my units right now. This is why I'm glad I didn't give him poison, because he gets so much more value. And take a look at this, he drops the Fireball there, it hits the Dart Goblin there, but it barely misses the Magic Archer there, so that was a bad Fireball. I'm gonna punish him right now with a Hog Rider, Guards, and look at this. The Magic Archer does work against that skeleton army there. He's also wrecking the Ice Wizard there from our side, so my opponent is in a bit of a pickle right now. And folks, right now I'm just super happy with how this match is turning out. We get a lot of chip damage there from the Magic Archer there, and my opponent now was forced to use the defensive miner. Of course, he has that mirror and the Goblin Barrel still in hand, so he can throw us a nasty miner Goblin Barrel combo. However, he does not do this because I didn't give him the chance to do it. I dropped my Dart Goblin there and he wastes a miner. The miner was just way too late, man. So I spread out my troops right now so that he doesn't get too much Fireball value. I know that I did use all of my air counters there, So I'm kind of really in a bad situation in terms of defending against the balloon. Thankfully, he does overreact to what I'm throwing at him right now. So I decide, you know what, let's throw him a curveball. I'm gonna throw him a hog in the opposite lane. We're gonna poison that Scummy a bit too late. The Ice Wizard does get some shots on our tower there now, and he's ready to hit us hard with yet another balloon. So we spread out our Dart Goblin and our Spare Goblins to make sure that balloon does not get to our tower. However, it is still within reach, so it does get the death damage off. However, we did manage to bring down that tower there, so our opponent really has his work cut out for him. So he's gonna invest with yet another balloon. He's also going to be sending the miner in there as well. So I'm trying my best right now to get rid of that balloon before it does any significant damage. The miner pops up. We block with the guards there and do a great job at defending. So I decide to back up those units there now with the Hog Rider there. My opponent does drop a beautiful fireball, stopping all of my supporting units from helping clean up that skeleton army there now. So we have to worry about that. He's going to drop the balloon and the goblin barrel at the same time, which is pretty darn annoying. I couldn't do anything there in that situation there. I dropped the rage spell just out of frustration, but what do you know, folks? The balloon did make it to the tower, dealing its death damage, and we do lose a lot of HP off of there. The miner was pretty late and really poorly placed, so the magic archer did get to do a great job at helping clean up most of those skeletons and still getting a lot of chip damage now. Right now, my priority is killing that balloon once again. We split up some Spare Goblins there in the back to deal with the Goblin Barrel. So right now, we're just going to keep pushing forward with the Hog Rider and use the Rage Spell on top of that just to get some extra damage done there. Look at this Magic Archer go. He's cleaning up so many of the skeletons there, and we do take out a lot of the HP off of that Ice Wizard. In fact, we do manage to bring him down and still get one shot on the tower there with the Magic Archer. I would say that is value town there, folks. And spreading out my flying machine again from the ice, what am I saying, not the Ice Wizard, the Magic Archer. I meant to say the Magic Archer there. And look at this, the flying machine there gets us so much value there. We poison now for the win, bringing down that left tower, and we managed to take the win. Now, folks, I would like to apologize for two things. First thing is that I said this was the second to last fight. I made a mistake there, folks. And the other thing is that I am really sorry for all of these inconsistent uploads. I am just so done booked with school. The other day I was doing a project for like 2 days straight. I barely got any sleep and I woke through the entire night there straight till morning. So yeah, it hasn't been easy for me, but I'm trying to make do with the situations that I find myself in. I will try my best to get this challenge done as soon as possible. I will also cover the Royal Ghost interaction videos sometime soon as well. I haven't forgotten about it. For those of you who knew, I promised to deliver that. I still intend to publish that sometime soon, so do bear with me. Now, in the meantime, folks, if you guys are waiting for my next upload, you can still catch up on some stuff that I'm doing on Clash Royale Amino. I really enjoy spending time in that community there, so you guys should check me out there and see what there is to do. And if you're looking for some new decks and stuff, you can check out what deck guides I've already posted here if you're new to the channel, or you can check out the written versions on Stats Royale. And trust me, folks, if you do take the time to read those through, you will enjoy them. Trust me, they are very detailed and they will help you improve your gameplay. Even if it's just by a little bit, it'll surely help in the long run. And pretty soon I'll be posting some other deck guides as well, which might include stuff like the Golem Flying Machine deck that was going around recently. I'll be covering both variants of it in separate videos, so do look out for that. Anyways, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, folks, remember, if you keep on digging, you'll eventually strike gold, but even then, keep on digging deeper. You'll eventually come across something even more worth your while. So once again, everyone, thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace out, guys.